This EPN Nugget will delve into the essential aspects of building and maintaining robust definitions on a Mac OS platform. Our objective is to establish effective criteria that will ensure only intended items are allowed, elevated, or blocked, while minimizing the maintenance and potential for exploitation. The first step to building strong definitions is to understand which criteria can be trusted and which ones that should only be used in combination with trusted criteria. The most immutable and specific piece of criteria is the file checksum. This is always available to us, but maintaining this type of definition can be arduous, especially for applications that receive regular updates, and so it is preferable to only use this when no other secure criteria can be defined. Publisher certificate is the next most secure, but on its own is too encompassing unless the goal is to approve everything from a particular vendor. Next, we have file name, and this should be considered weak as it is easily changed without impacting the integrity of the certificate or its checksum. So this criteria should only be used in locations where it cannot be manipulated by the end user or an attacker impersonating them. File location is a little more abstract and depends on the security of the folder and if it is protected from tampering. The System and Applications folders do not allow users write access, and therefore can be considered trusted locations. A bundle ID is a unique identifier issued by Apple for an application bundle. This is how applications are typically packaged in Apple's ecosystem. Before the relatively new software signing, a bundle ID was the best way of verifying the identity of the vendor and application. The naming convention for these identifiers follows reverse domain notation followed by the application name, for example, com.microsoft.teams, which not only makes them easy to read, but it also makes them predictable. File version tracks the revision of the application and can be used to isolate a specific minimum, maximum, or range of versions that you want to target. The typical usage is to block older versions of an application that may have vulnerabilities. Context is exceptionally useful criteria to determine when and how an application can be allowed, blocked, or elevated. This is a deeper topic and will be covered in a separate video nugget. The gold standard of identifying applications on macOS is to use the bundle ID, which securely identifies both the vendor and application, in combination with a publisher certificate which provides enhanced security. While a publisher certificate is desirable, it is not mandatory, and the bundle ID should still be considered secure as it cannot be removed or modified. Due to the predictable naming convention of bundle IDs, you can use them to target a specific application or all applications from that vendor. You can also use a regular expression logic to include or exclude specific apps. For example, bundle ID starts with con.google but does not contain chat or earth. Not all executables on Mac OS have a bundle ID, and in these cases the preference is to use the publisher certificate to verify the vendor. You can then choose to trust all applications from that vendor, or to target a specific application we need to rely on the file name to identify the app. File names can be changed, so it is important that this is only used in conjunction with trusted locations, where file names are protected from modification by the end user and can therefore be trusted. It is still common to find applications on macOS that are not signed. Bundle ID would now be the preference, as per the first example, but not all apps include a bundle ID, and in those cases you only have two options that offer any form of security. The first is to trust a location that is protected from tampering by unauthorized users, such as the default system and application folders. We could use that criteria on its own if we want to target everything it contains, or if we wanted to be specific, we could include the file name, which can now be trusted as it cannot be modified. In the absence of a trusted location, you should use the checksum. Thank you for watching. You should now have a better understanding of building and maintaining robust definitions on macOS.